Gastroesophageal reflux disorder or acid reflux disorder, in which the acidic content involving distal 8 to 10 centimeter of esophagus move backward. So it is also called reflux esophagitis. Now let's have a closer look toward the area where the pathology lies. So when the food passes through the esophagus toward the stomach, the sphincter closes. But when the reflux of the acidic content into the esophagus occur, then the irritation of the columnar epithelium of esophagus also occur. So let's move toward the sphincters and where the pathology lies. As you can see, there are two sphincters. One is internal or external, also called anatomical or physiological sphincter. Internal one consist of circular band of the smooth muscles, while the external consists of diaphragm. The internal band of the smooth muscle will open in response to the nitrous oxide or VIP, which to release by the ganglionic cell of myenteric plexus. Now, the pathology lies due to incompetent sphincter or decreased tone of the sphincter at the gastroesophageal junction. So there are certain causes. Let's move toward the causes. One is the sliding hiatal hernia, in which the stomach got herniated through the diaphragmatic hiatus, and thus the reflux of acidic content through that hiatus to happen. And the second is gastroparalysis, in which the gastric paralysis occur and delay in gastric emptying happen. Normally the 90% of the gastric content empty in the 4 hours, but in that case it do not occur and start to fall in the stomach. So that gastric content get reflects back into the esophagus and causing GERD. Then there is decreased reparative capacity of the mucosa. As you can see, this mucosa, there is many erosions, and then there is impaired tone of sphincter, which to happen due to causes like pregnancies, alcohol, tobacco, hypothyroidism. So the mnemonic is PATH, so it will be easy to remember. Now let's move toward the different symptom which to happen. The first is esophageal and second is non-esophageal. So esophageal symptom comprises of heartburn or burning tightness behind the sternum in the epigastric area. Second is the dysphagia or difficulty swelling or painful swelling, also called odynophagia. The sensation of lump in the throat or food getting stuck after swelling. Thirdly, there is water pressure, a hot sensation in the stomach followed by a large amount of watery liquid in the mouth. The non-esophageal symptom consists of acid regurgitation. It is also a bitter taste experience in the throat or mouth. The second is the asthma, laryngitis, and chronic cough are unusual symptom but can be caused by GERD. So let's move toward the diagnosis. How we gonna diagnose it? The first is the barium swallow. In this solution of barium sulfate is given through the mouth and the radiographic images are taken. The second is the endoscopy, handheld camera with the light source in the form of tubing is passed through the mouth into the gastroesophageal junction and see the pathology. So now the most important investigation is 24-hour pH monitoring, which is done by the NG probe, which is passed through the nasogastric route into the gastroesophageal junction, and pH is monitored at that point. Now move toward the management. We do have to avoid precipitants like having late night meal or having meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, chocolates, caffeine, tobacco, alcohol, Other things as losing weight and elevate the head of bed with large pillow before sleeping should also be done. And then the medical management consists of antacid, which to neutralize the stomach pH. The second is the H2 blockers like cimetidine. It has many side effects like diarrhea, vomiting, gynecomastia. The thirdly, there is prokinetic agents like metoclopramide hydrochloride. It is given in the cases of gastroparesis to force gastric emptying. And the last is proton pump inhibitor like omeprazole. It do have the mainly the chronic side effects, so it is safe for acute use. Chronic side effects like vitamin B12 deficiency, infection with Clostridium difficile, and many more. So treatment algorithm consists of starting with omeprazole. If the patient is showing good response, we will maintain proton pump inhibitor and NSAID alginates and H2 antagonist. If he is showing poor response, then we will have to go for 24-hour pH monitoring with that, which I already have shown you. If it is positive, then we will have to do fundoplication. This we do have to wrap fundus around the lower esophagogastric junction, and if it is negative, we would have to reconsider diagnosis. Maybe our diagnosis is incorrect, so we will have to give other things like SSRI or TC antidepressants. Nissen fundoplication consists of wrapping the fundus around the esophagus, as you can see in this diagram. There are other type of fundoplications like two-put or door fundoplication, but mostly this is done. Now there is complication like hiatal hernia. In this, the um, later stages, the stomach get rotate around its axis, as you can see in this radiological picture. Second is the esophagitis. Thirdly is the battered esophagus. Fourthly, chronic blood loss due to iron deficiency anemia. And last, benign esophageal stricture. In this, the lower side of the esophagus get very narrow and cause chronically decreased food pass through that sphincter.